In every corner of the world, ancient myths whisper of a great flood, a disaster that wiped away entire civilizations. But among all those stories, one legend stands apart. The story of a city so magnificent, so advanced, that its power stretched across oceans, and then, in a single day and night, it vanished beneath the waves. This is the legend of Atlantis. But was it merely the imagination of a Greek philosopher, or the memory of a lost world that once truly existed? The story begins with Plato, the Greek philosopher, more than 2,000 years ago. In his dialogues Timaeus and Critias, he described Atlantis in astonishing detail. According to him, Atlantis lay beyond the Pillars of Hercules, what we now call the Strait of Gibraltar. It was a vast island ruled by kings who descended from Poseidon himself, the god of the sea. Plato wrote that Atlantis was a paradise, an advanced civilization with magnificent temples, palaces clad in precious metals, canals, and a navy so powerful it dominated the Mediterranean. Its people possessed knowledge, technology, and power unlike any of their neighbors. But as their pride and ambition grew, the gods struck them down. In just one day and night of misfortune, Atlantis sank into the sea and was lost forever. Skeptics dismiss Plato's story as allegory, a moral lesson on pride and downfall. But others ask, how could he invent such a detailed account unless he was passing down a story older than himself? Plato's tale is not alone. Across the globe, ancient cultures preserve stories of a great flood, from Noah to Gilgamesh to Vishnu's rescue of Manu, echoes of a catastrophe shared across civilizations. Could all of these flood myths be fragments of a real global event? Scientists point to the end of the last ice age, around 12,000 years ago, when rising sea levels submerged coastal regions worldwide. Was Atlantis simply one of those drowned civilizations remembered in myth? Over the centuries, countless theories have tried to locate Atlantis. One popular idea places it in the Aegean Sea. Around 1600 BC, the island of Thera, modern-day Santorini, erupted in one of the largest volcanic explosions in human history. The blast wiped out the Minoan civilization, a seafaring culture with advanced art, trade, and architecture. Some scholars argue that memories of the Minoans inspired Plato's Atlantis, though the timeline doesn't quite match. In recent years, attention has turned to the deserts of Mauritania in West Africa. From space, the so-called Eye of the Sahara is a massive circular formation nearly 25 miles wide. Its concentric rings of rock uncannily match Plato's description of Atlantis's circular capital city. Advocates of this theory note that seas once reached far deeper into Africa, and the Reshat structure shows signs of ancient rivers and flooding. Could this barren desert once have been a lush island, home to a lost civilization? Others look westward to the Caribbean. In the Bahamas, divers discovered the Bimini Road, a pathway of massive stone blocks. While geologists argue it's natural, believers see a remnant of Atlantis, swallowed by the sea. And then there is the Antarctica theory, perhaps the wildest of all. It suggests Atlantis lies beneath the ice of the frozen continent. Maps from the 1500s, such as the Peary Race map, appear to show Antarctica without ice, hinting at ancient knowledge of its geography. If the continent was once warm and habitable, could it hide the remains of a forgotten civilization? Plato described Atlantis as possessing technology beyond its time, temples lined with orichalcum, a mysterious metal that shone like fire, irrigation systems and canals that dwarfed anything in the ancient world, and a fleet that spanned the seas. Perhaps most intriguing is the possibility that Atlantis had knowledge of the stars and the Earth itself. Some researchers claim that ancient maps, architecture, and myths across the world point to a shared advanced knowledge of astronomy, navigation, and geometry. Did the Atlanteans preserve wisdom from an even older lost civilization? Or were they themselves the keepers of advanced secrets that vanished with them? In 1968, the Bimini Road was discovered. In 2001, structures resembling temples were found submerged off the coast of India in the Gulf of Kambat. Sonar scans of the ocean floor reveal vast areas of drowned land that may still hide ancient ruins. Satellite imagery of the Richate structure continues to fuel debate, with some believing it holds the strongest evidence yet of Atlantis. Meanwhile, geologists studying ancient shorelines confirm that sea levels rose over 400 feet at the end of the last ice age, enough to drown entire coastal civilizations. In 2018, scientists even discovered massive megalithic stones underwater near the Azores Islands, directly west of Gibraltar, where Plato claimed Atlantis once lay. So was Atlantis real? If it was, it would have existed during a time when humans were supposedly primitive hunter-gatherers. Yet Plato describes a culture of ships, temples, and cities, a civilization far ahead of its time. If true, it rewrites everything we know about human history. Skeptics insist Atlantis was nothing more than Plato's parable, a lesson in hubris. But believers argue that too many clues, too many global flood myths, and too many unexplained ruins exist to ignore. Atlantis remains the greatest unsolved mystery of the ancient world. Was it truly a paradise that fell beneath the waves? A memory of the global floods that reshaped our planet? Or perhaps a story designed to warn us of our own pride? Until we uncover the ruins, the truth lies hidden beneath the oceans, waiting. And as we close this chapter, one question remains. Was Atlantis just a myth or a forgotten reality?